All right, here we go. This is episode one of Get the Greenlight podcast. Appreciate y'all listening. I'm the founder of Greenlight Media, Greg Copanezos. We're super excited about what this show is going to offer to you guys and kind of give a player side of things, bringing on a lot of dope personalities. And yeah, we're just excited to get it going with. And we've had this idea, I think, for a while. Carlos came to me with it, and it's just about time to get this thing rolling. But yeah, Carlos, you take it away.
Yeah, for sure. My name's Carlos Rodriguez, owner of C-Rock Films. I've been working with Greenlight for a while now. Good time about this podcast, so we're excited what's in store. But going on to who's our guest. So today we'll be joined by Malik Dia, who's a sophomore at Belmont University on the men's basketball team. He's averaging 17.3 points per game, shooting nearly 49% from the field. In my opinion, he's one of the top players in the country. So without further ado, let's go ahead and bring Malik on.
What's
What's up,
good? What's
Malik?
good?
What's good, Malik? Yeah, I
What
feel
up?
like
What up?
no better person to have on the show than Malik Dia, a guy who kind of went a little bit under the radar in his recruiting, somebody that we always look to focus on Greenlight Media, players like that, and somebody who really proved this year that the difference a year can make as far as your stock. So, Malik, we appreciate you joining us, bro.
No problem, man.
Yes.
Appreciate you having me.
So Malik, obviously, tomorrow's game day. You guys play Missouri State at home. So, walk us through what, pre-game day looked like for you today.
This morning I had class at 8 a.m. Some physical fitness class, so went to that. Then you got Spanish class and sports leadership. So I go through all that. And then after that, go grab something quick. Come to practice before. Shoot around a little bit. And then we had weights. We just did a little stuff to get us warm and ready for practice. And then day before a game, he wants us to go at it just to have a feel of what the game's going to look like tomorrow and stuff, and the actions will be guarding. So went pretty intense in practice and get some treatment and come back, relax, and get ready.
Yeah, and I guess kind of talk about a little bit more about the Missouri Valley. I think it's a conference at really good level that maybe isn't talked about enough. So, kind of just talk about preparing for a Missouri Valley conference game and the work that goes into that.
Yeah, the Missouri Valley is like a tough conference. I mean, it's really physical. They beat me a lot in there. But getting ready for the stuff, there's a lot of actions that a lot of teams run. A lot of teams play fast. It's a lot of like freedom. So um, just knowing like who personnel is and who you're guarding and all the different types of actions and stuff. Just being prepared for that, and I think we work at that pretty intensely. Um, so just doing that each and every day just helps us get a better feel on, who we have to guard, how we have to guard them, and then come game time, it's time to show.
Yeah, and obviously every athlete has their own thing. Is there like a certain pregame, ritual you have? Pregame meal. What does that look like on a game day like tomorrow?
We pregame meal together as a team, like usually 3 hours before. Usually in our practice facility, we have a little room up there called the Bruin Stand that we eat. You go back and chill. I always go to the gas station. Lately, I've been going and getting a little double shot energy drink. So I always take one of those before the game, and it gets me a little like a little hype. So you know what I'm saying. I'm good to go. I'm ready. So and then after that, I just show up and just get my shots up, get ready for the game.
Yeah. All right. I think we'll get straight into the next part. Kind of going over your transfer because I feel like that's been a big thing for you. That transfer obviously lets you go to Belmont, lets you rock out. You've certainly found a great fit and literally right down the street, right there in Nashville. So kind of talk about
Yeah.
maybe some of the schools that recruited you and also why Belmont sort of stood out. And yeah, like why you ultimately chose Belmont.
Yeah, a few schools when I entered the portal, it was kind of like Texas A&M, Florida State, Ole Miss really really wanted me. Um, Belmont's in there, and then like we had a few other like thinking American school like Wichita State wanted me. So there was a lot of talks, and then a bunch of like other mid majors like Murray State was also talking to like a bunch of other MVC schools. So there's a bunch talking to me, but the main thing I was looking for is just like a program where I can be like I can be myself and feel like I can have a major impact on winning. And I felt like I could do that at a big school. I believe in myself and my confidence. But at the same time, I know that there's better opportunities, and it's right down the street. So I think it was not saying the location played a factor, but having this ability to showcase myself, but also help the team win in a, a big way. So I'm just really grateful that I had that opportunity, and it's still in Nashville, so I still got my people to come see me and all that. So it's really amazing.
Yeah, kind of backtracking to last year, your freshman year was at Vanderbilt. Kind of just walk us through that, how that whole season went for you and kind of what ultimately led you to entering the transfer portal.
I think last year, my first year is a learning curve, just how it is for like a lot of freshmen. I came in thinking, nobody can guard me. This is the year, what I'm saying, and thinking all this and that. But there's a lot of things behind college basketball that the outside people don't see. It's a lot of work that needs to be put in. There's a lot of, team stuff, defenses, a whole bunch. So it's way more complicated than it looks. But adjusting to that, it took me a little bit to adjust to that. I feel like I got a groove, and eventually towards the end of the season, me and Sackhouse were just like, think it's best if we just move on. So it was pretty mutual. We understood, and there's no bad blood with Vandy or anything. It's all good. So it was definitely a very interesting freshman year, and I'm glad to be a part of it because I see all my guys who are either still there or not there. I'm glad to see them winning, and I feel like I've built a lot of good relationships there.
For sure, yeah. And I mean, you even said it, there's no bad blood. I mean, I think I saw one of your stories a couple weeks ago where you were in attendance at the Vandy game. So it's still nice to see you're still supporting your, past teammates and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then going off that, kind of just talk about what it's been like to see your role shift so much to a Belmont staff that really believes in you. And I know I saw today that you're actually #1 in the country in usage, meaning that a lot of the offense is running through you at Belmont. So kind of talk about how the staff views you and how that's been a great fit so far.
Yeah, I feel like my coaching staff has a lot of trust in me, and helping me and just understand where to play my game at and, find my spots. They've used me quite a lot. I've heard that stat before. It's not the first time. So just knowing that I'm a big part here is just amazing. And I'm really glad that I can be impacting winning. They're in my ear a lot about, trying to make sure I'm cutting down on turnovers, making sure you're making the right reads, trying to get other teammates open because they know that I feel good about my mismatch whenever. And whoever's guarding me, but it's also about making the team better. And, sometimes one or two people will come at you or, guys squared up on you. So keep it moving and try and, just impact their play in other ways.
I mean, kind of sticking with that, obviously I feel like a big thing for players is, finding their confidence. So, speak about how you went from, last year to this year, just finding that confidence, because obviously, averaging 17.3 points, like I said, from last year, you didn't have as much of a, contribution role. So, speak about how you were able to find that confidence and still believe in yourself.
I think I've always believed in myself. I know who I am as a basketball player. I'm always in the gym. I just love hooping. So after a certain while, when you're doing something, it's just like, oh, I know I got this down. So I'd say last year, I don't think I was given as much as an opportunity, but I always had that confidence no matter what when I checked in. I always felt like, oh, I can do this. Like I can hang with them. These are the big boys and I'm a big boy, So I always thought I could hang. But now it's just, a little bit more opportunities given and freedom. So I've had quite more of a chance to showcase that confidence and show that I really do like basketball and this is my matchup and I know I can attack you and I know I can be one of the better players.
Yeah. And then I think for those out there who are watching maybe that don't know that much about your game, maybe say you're talking to an NBA front office or NBA scout, how would you describe your skill set and maybe the best parts about your game?
I think to describe me, you don't know what you're getting from me. You're I think I can do it in all different ways. I think I'm a versatile guy who can, shoot it, space the floor, put it on the ground, finish at the rim. I really don't like to be limited to one dimension. I think I can do it all. And, defensively think rebounding, protect the rim whenever needed. And then if needed to switch out and guard guards. So just trying to showcase and help people understand that, I can do it all and I'm continuously working. I know I got a lot of things I got to work on, but, never being limited to one thing.
Is there a specific area of your game? Like you said, you always want to work on things, but is there a specific area of your game that you really want to kind of add to the next level?
I think this summer I'm going to work a lot on my body, cutting down, trying probably getting a little bigger and more slimmer. Not big, like a little more cut,
Yeah.
and then cutting down all that excess, weight. And then probably skill wise basketball. I think consistent shot making. I know I can make it, just finding that mechanic to keep the same shot over and over and over. Um, Ball handling for sure. That's always a thing to improve on. And then more so than that, I think probably my mental. Just working on the mental part of the game and just, you know, picking apart things and, just having a better understanding of my mind and when I'm out there and what I'm seeing.
Seeing what Belmont did with Ben Shepherd, what is, how did you look at that aspect, getting him to the league and stuff like that, and just kind of your own process, because obviously the end goal is, get into the league. So, how do you look at that and what they did with Ben Shepherd and how they could do it with yourself?
We scrimmaged when I first was at Vandy, we scrimmaged Belmont every single year in the summertime. And I was watching, I'm like, who is this guy? And like, I had never heard of him really. So watching them, just keeping up with basketball, you hear about the news and you hear about like Ben Shepherd going off at Belmont and you seeing him. So just really off over the summer when I was, looking on where to go, I just looked at the development of him and how his numbers increase each and every year and how he stepped up and rose to the occasion. And now he's in the NBA. He's an unbelievable player. So I think Belmont has a really good job of developing people, and I just really like that.
Have you noticed any big differences between the SEC and Missouri Valley, or would you say it's overall like pretty similar? They're both like you're going to get beaten up. It's tough to win on the road. Like, would you say there's a lot of similarities?
So there's a lot of similarities. Yeah, it's very tough to win on the road. I think the only difference is probably the SEC is a little more athletic. It's just you run into bigger guys, stronger guys, more athletic. But I definitely say at the end of the day, it's just basketball, man. If you can do it here, you can do it anywhere. It's all basketball.
No doubt. Who are some of the top players, you've faced early on? Obviously, you guys in NBC got a guy like Xavier Johnson, who's, one of the top scorers in the country. So, what is it like playing against the competition there?
In the NBC, it's you're getting it every single game you go to, basically. We got Xavier Johnson, second leading scorer in the country, Tucker DeVries Player of the Year last year. So it's definitely not. There's no shy away from competition coming to NBC. You're going to get good talent. There's going to be good guys here. So, I mean, I think it's one of the best as it gets when it comes to mid-majors and probably one of the best. And I wouldn't see why we wouldn't be top 10 in the country as in conference-wise.
For sure.
No doubt. All right, let's kind of shift gears a bit. Definitely want to hear about your experience at Team Thad. Just knowing how much love they show on social media to their former players is something that you don't necessarily see at the AAU level with everybody. So just kind of talk about Coach Hurd, Coach CJ. I want to show those guys some love over there and your experience playing with Team Thad and the culture.
Coach Hurd and Coach CJ, man, they're my guys, man. Really appreciate what they did, man. Took me. It started with Coach Josh. He took me from EAB from a hotel when I was playing my freshman year with Blackman. We're like, hey, man, we want you to come here. And he didn't even know me from Malik. He was just like, he's seen a 6'5" kid. And he just took me. And, when I came over there, it was a big change. It was a big difference. At first, I was like, I can't do this. But then they just, told me, hey, man, we really want you. You think you'd really fit. We can help you. At the time, I got nothing. I'm seeing all these people get, big-time offers and all this stuff. And I didn't have anything, no interest, no nothing. So come around my sophomore year, I played up and I played with 17. So I played with like Bryce McGowan's, Cam Jones, Carter Witt, Alden Applewhite. Who else? Manny Obaseki at Texas A&M. So just a lot of talent around them, and playing with those guys is fun and just learning from them. And then after that season over, that was COVID, so it was a little messed up. I gained a few interests, playing and just learning that route. Went the whole year, school year, nothing changed, still no offers. And then my junior year, it was just like, this is 17, this is my age group, my year. We had a really good team around us, me, Chandler Jackson, Kamani Hamilton, Solomon Washington, Jalen Hood-Schifino joined later. So we had a really good team. And Justin Moore, I can't leave Justin Morgan out. It's my dog. But we had a really good team. And, after the first tournament, just played pretty well, just doing what I do. And then, just seeing one offer come in, TCU came in, then Nebraska, and then they just started racking up more and more and more. And I was just like, wow, this is insane, watching all these other people get offers. And then, you finally get a few, and it's just like, it's unbelievably a blessing. And you just like, you can take this far. You just think so far ahead. And you just like, I know for some people, it's like, you just stop and you get content. You're like, oh my gosh, I got this. I'm okay. But it just like, it kind of gave me more of a fuel. I'm like, I know I can do more with this. And I feel like I got a really good chance. So I really do appreciate them. The team that journey was insane, especially with all the hype that we got too. So it was fun. It was really fun.
Yeah, you mentioned some of those teammates. One teammate we want to kind of highlight, Solomon Washington, labeled as the 5-star stopper. So, kind of speak about where that came about and stuff like that and just playing with him.
Yeah, so we were playing B-Mays, and it's funny because my roommate, Jacoby Gillespie, played with B-Mays at the time, and we weren't really close. But we were playing B-Mays, and, I had Brandon Huntley Hatfield, who was going to UT, who now plays at Louisville. And everybody was saying, like, he going to cook him and all this other stuff. And, he wasn't going for it. So he was like, he took the challenge. There was a lot of speculation going out there mid-game. He talking about he a football player and all this and that. But he locked him up. And from that tournament on, we just kept putting him on the 5 stars and, the best guys. And he was locking them up. So he then got that name. CJ basically made the name 5-star stopper. And he just it just ran with it, man. It just went everywhere. And you could just see it keep going on, like the Mean Streets game when we played who was on that team? I forgot who was on Mean Street. You had like Cam Kraft and all these people. They were talking crazy. Jalen Washington at UNC.
Yeah.
So that game was nuts. There's the fan talking to him, talking about you ain't got no offers and all this and that, and it blew up. So it was insane. It was insane.
Yeah, and
but not only that, he's a great guy.
Would you say that picking like a certain AAU team, like how does that translate to the college level? Maybe like a younger Hoopers watching, like how important do you think it is to pick the right AAU team and stick with them throughout?
Yeah, I think picking the right AAU team is pretty important. You don't want to go somewhere just because, like the big name or because they have all the gear or EYBL or whatever. You want to go somewhere where you can showcase your talent. And I feel like at a young age, they just installed that and just said, hey, we really want you to come over here and play your game and showcase what you can do. So that was really amazing. And then on top of that, then we joined EYBL and then we got all this big hype. So then it's like you showcase your talent and you're on a big time team. So it's just like you got the best of both worlds.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, sticking with Team Thad, obviously, that Peach Jam year, 2021, it was a weird Peach Jam year unlike the other years. Obviously, close to spectators besides, just your family. So, speak about that experience just because it wasn't a regular, year. So how was that whole Peach Jam experience like for you?
It was insane. I never played EYBL. 16U, we had COVID, so there wasn't anything. And then 17U, there was supposed to be sessions, but all the sessions got canceled. And then we ended up just doing one big Peach Jam thing. So it was definitely different from what I'm seeing on my phone and, watching streams and stuff. But it was still an amazing experience, having family and friends there. And then, all the scouts and coaches coming there. And then, there's some NBA scouts there watching too. So it's just like, it's amazing. It was just, it was a little dead, but, sometimes a whole bunch of other teams will come in and like flood like one court just watching one game because you got, 2 good teams playing. I think it was fun. It was really fun. And then, being in quarantine with my guys for it was a little more than 12 days because we went to Atlanta and played in a warm-up tournament first because coaches were coming to see that. So I was probably with my guys for about a good solid month.
What was that whole like?
Y'all were at Lake Point, I think.
No, it wasn't at Lake Point. It was we were at McEachern. We played at McEachern.
With the On the Radar event.
Yep, the On the Radar event. Yeah.
What for like going back to Peach Jam? What was that? Because you guys had to get tested and stuff like that. And I just remember being there, like players were testing positive and stuff like that. So like I remember, like if you can remember, I remember like there was people. Nobody was wearing a mask at first, really, and then everybody just started getting positive. There was positive tests within teams, like. And then next thing you know, everybody wearing masks and warm-ups and stuff like that. So, what was that like and that whole experience doing the whole test and stuff?
Peach, that was insane because we did have to test every day. That little swab going up your nose, and then they made us do it on our own. So some people wasn't really doing it, but we ended up having a few positive cases, and I think that's what ultimately ended up like us in a few more games, and then us getting put out. But it was insane. I remember like Peach Jam just switching up the rules and be like, "Hey, like y'all got to wear a mask in warm ups." And I'm just like, "Nah, this is so dumb." Like, like if we're not, why would we wear it in warm ups but not in the game? You know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah.
Yeah.
so
Well, I have to
it
agree with
was
you
it was
about that.
insane.
I have to agree with you about that Team Thad team. Y'all are gonna go. Just like I think that maybe some people out there are sleeping on Team Thad because the past couple Peach Jams haven't gone that far, but they're pumping out a lot of talent. So definitely
Yeah,
definitely are gonna make a run at it again next season. But I think we're gonna shift
we're on the
gears a little
rise.
bit. Yeah, we'll shift gears a little bit, go over some film, have Malik talk about a few special clips from the season and some big games right now. I think we're actually going to start it with Malik's big poster to start the season, kind of talk about
Right.
how to start the season, how that maybe put your name on the map a little bit. Guys who maybe weren't talking about you, talk about that. Kind of what was going through your head on that poster.
So I'm listening and I'm just in the help side, and then my guy's like, "Yo, swing it, swing it." I'm like, "Swing it!" Like I'm gonna go get this. So he just passed it. I'm like, I get in that pass lane, and then all I'm seeing is the rim. So I knew I was gonna dunk it from the rip. Like I already knew first game, feeling good in the new Under Armour's, new jersey. So I was like, shoot, you got to. And I was like, if he jumps, that's his choice.
And then, like,
And like,
obviously this is the first game of the season and stuff. So like, I feel like, this is your introduction to Belmont fans and stuff like that. So, what were you hearing, post game and stuff like that? You dropped 24, opened up the season, you came off the bench and did this. So, like, what were you hearing from everybody?
I had a lot of people like, why'd you come off the bench and other such and such. I'm just like, I don't know, man. I'm just focusing on the game, really. But it was amazing, just having the Belmont crowd support me, knowing I came over from Vanderbilt and, just having the Nashville atmosphere. So it was amazing. I had a lot of fun. Having the body was definitely amazing. And then seeing myself on Sports Center, that was even more crazy. So I do appreciate it. I love the Belmont atmosphere. It's just amazing and very welcoming.
and where does that maybe rank and your best dunks that you've had in your career? I know you probably had some in high school, but what do you think on that?
That's probably surprisingly, I put that at 2. It's kind of crazy because I remember like speculations after my freshman year. People didn't think I was athletic, and they thought I was just stay on the ground guy because my jump shot, and then I didn't have any dunks my freshman year. So it's crazy how I'm doing all these dunks. But I'd say that's probably my second favorite. I think I had another dunk this year in our second game of the season against Furman. I think I like that dunk better, even though it didn't make SportsCenter, which I think it should. But I like that dunk a lot better because it was in transition and a little bit of traffic.
For sure. Let's go to the Arizona game real quick. So, obviously you guys are on the road at Arizona. Just kind of walk us through what the atmosphere was like playing, at then the number 3 team in the country's, home court.
Yeah, having them like them there and us playing them, that atmosphere was insane. You think playing Belmont, nobody's like it's not like a big time Pac-12 matchup, but there's a lot of people there. So the atmosphere is just nuts. Like that's by far the best place I've ever been to. It was really cool just being there and playing against those guys, and just wanting to know like I could hang with them. I just feel like there's something to prove, and just go out there and hoop.
No, and I was going to say that last year, I think your season high, you have 14 against Kentucky, right? So like, is there a part of you
Yeah.
that's like these big games, like I gotta show out, I gotta prove that, hey, I'm good enough or better than most of these players on this stage? Is that like kind of going through your head?
I think a little bit. It definitely gives me a little bit of fire. Having these big games. I think last year it was really cool having that career high at the time. Because I grew up a little Kentucky fan. I was supporting Kentucky a little bit, and then to play against them and have that was insane. So it was nice.
No
For
doubt.
sure. Now, moving on let's go to your career high against Drake. You dropped 32 on the home floor. Walk us through what that felt like, and just having this other high-scoring performance.
That was a very interesting game because I caught the ball. I think we were trying to run a play, but I'm like, my man isn't guarding me. I'm like, what are we doing? So, I started off with like I think 2 or 3 open threes. I think that just got me going. I just saw the goal and the goal was huge. So I'm just, I think I can score it in multiple different ways, and it was just there. From there, it was a wrap. So I knew they weren't gonna stop me, and I knew we were gonna win this game.
That had to
Do you
feel
feel
good
like
too, like
that's
in front of the home crowd, right?
Yeah.
Do you feel like that's like something that people kind of, overlook? Like, obviously you said they were leaving you open and stuff like that, so it's kind of something that surprises them. Like, what's your take on that?
I think in the MVC they've like portrayed me as like I can get to the rim and finish really well. So sometimes they try and gap me in when I drive on both sides. There's definitely a lot of gap side help, but having that 3 ball is really helpful because if they're sagging back, that's an open 3. So once again, that's just being like very versatile and just working on that. Um, Trying to keep that 3 ball consistent, and then if they do come out there, that's not really many people who can, stay in front of both of those. So just feel like it's a big mismatch.
For sure. And then I'm gonna rewind it back real quick. Walk us through this next play. It looks like right here, you kind of do a little showboat, hit him with the, he's too little and stuff like that. So, are you somebody that kind of mixes it in with both, doing those little showboats and stuff, or like, what's your take on that? And or is it, since it was a conference matchup, it's kind of a little bit more personal? Like, what's your take on that?
It really had me going because people were saying, Drake's picked to win the league and all this stuff, and I'm like that does not matter to me. I just got here. I don't know about the history of Drake and Belmont, but I'm like these guys aren't nothing. So I definitely felt like we had something to prove as a team, and I just want to come and show out there that we're the better team, and I'm gonna get the best of you.
For sure.
Yeah. Go back to that last clip, Carlos. I think that's a dunk that maybe we should be talking about a little more too. How many guys
Yeah.
6'9" are picking it up and going coast to coast like that? Damn.
That's insane because the day after I was working out with my trainer, and he
We go
was
back
like,
to that.
Malik, do you know where you took off from? And I'm like, no, like, and I was like, no.
Yeah,
He's
look
like,
at
you took
that.
off from the valley.
Yeah.
I was like,
Look at
yeah. I was like, I could probably do that again, and I tried to do. I was like, I can't do that because it was a lot of adrenaline, and it was just big. I was like, you ain't gonna stop me, man.
For sure.
All right,
Well, I think
let's
we can
go.
go ahead
Let's
and
go
move on.
into
Yeah.
We'll shift gears a little bit. I think we got a good little film session, and now we'll go to building our own college basketball starting 5. The criteria, Carlos, you want to take that away? Tell Malik a little bit more
Yeah,
about that.
for sure. Yeah. So, all right, we'll do build your college basketball starting 5. Obviously, me and Greg will give our own takes, but Malik, basically, you can't use yourself or your teammates. So, who are you picking for your college basketball starting 5 current players?
Current players, currently in college.
Yeah, currently in college.
Can't use my teammates. I put Chandler Jackson from Florida State at the 1. Shooting guard. I need a shooting guard. This is tough, man.
Bro, I thought you were gonna say Cam Jones right there. I'm not gonna lie.
Oh, yeah, probably give me Cam Jones at the 2. Cam's unstoppable this year, man. I'm not gonna lie to you. Cam Jones at the 2, Chandler Jackson the 1. At the 5, give me Hunter Dickinson. The 4, I can't use myself.
Yeah, you can't use yourself on this one.
The 4, let me think of the 4, man. Give me. Dude, my starting 5 is weak. I'm blanking right now. 4 man. Give me some 4-mans. I don't need no any people. There's not many power forwards out there anymore.
If you want, we can go back
flip,
to
flip at Duke.
Oh yeah, Flip. Yeah, Filipowski. I guess you could put in somebody like, well, I would say Dylan was more like a 3, But
Yeah, Dylan Mitchell, like a
You know
Colin
what?
Murray
You know what?
Boyles at USC.
Let me think. I'm gonna put Dylan Mitchell at my 4, but we're gonna run a 3-guard front. So I'm gonna put Rob Dillingham at my 1, Chandler Jackson at my 2, and then Cam Jones at my 3.
I like that.
All right, Greg, you want to go ahead and share yours?
Yeah, I'll go ahead. I guess I'm going more off just like, I don't know if necessarily this would be my starting 5 if I was just starting a team from scratch, but I'll just give some love to some guys who have been showing out.
See, y'all had time to think of it too.
Yeah, we had some time.
Yeah, we had time. Yeah,
we had some time. At the point guard, man, I'll probably go Tyler Kolek. He had 18 assists last night. I mean, how many guys are doing that?
Yeah.
Marquette. Probably go RJ Davis at the 2. I think he got a lot of hate last year that he didn't deserve on that team that kind of underperformed, but he's a bucket. I'll probably go at the 3 right now as far as like Dalton Connect. I think he's one of the hottest players in basketball right now. He's putting up.
See, look, I forgot about him.
Yeah, he's putting up like 30 a game in the SEC. Yeah.
I'm putting him in. I'm putting him in. Yeah.
Connect? Yeah.
Yeah, I'm putting Dalton in mine.
I'll go Deron Holmes at the 4 at Dayton, putting up some big numbers. And then, man, I don't know if this wouldn't fit my system of play, but I'd have to go Zach Edey at the 5. Like, he's just kind of dominant. But I'll just go at Zach Edey.
You know what's funny? 3 of those players you named are on my list, and I knew it was going to happen like that. So I had RJ Davis at my 1, Rob Dillingham at my 2, Don Connect at my 3, PJ Hall at my 4, just because he's been playing really good at Clemson too, and he's another top player. And I had Zach Edey at the 5. That was my lineup. But like Malik said, we had time to think on this. So like obviously our lineup,
I'm
a little bit more stronger.
I gotta redo mine.
Yeah, if you got new picks, you go ahead.
Let me think. I'm putting Rob Dillingham at my 1. I'm still putting Cam Jones at my 2. Dalton Connect my 3. Hunter Dickinson's still my 5-man though. He's been going crazy, I ain't gonna lie. And then my 5-man or my 4-man. I still don't know about my 4-man. 4-man. That's hard. PJ Hall has been hooping too. Let me think. I don't know, man. I really don't know.
I know it's tough.
Maybe I go 2 bigs and go like Messi from Baylor.
Oh yeah, that's a good call. All right, I feel like my starting 5's taking it, but we'll go straight into the rapid fire questions.
Wait, who was your 4 again?
My 4?
Holmes.
Yeah, he's good.
Yeah, it was Holmes.
And who was? Oh, you had Kolek. Okay, your starting 5 is really experienced. I tried to kind of go, like my lineup is straight seniors besides Rob, but I don't know. I think we might have it on my side.
All right, we'll go rapid fire. Rapid fire, Malik. First question.
Great, yeah.
Who's a player you model your game after and why? Kind of growing up.
Modeling my game after. I loved watching LeBron. LeBron's my favorite player, and he really do it all. But I don't know if I'm LeBron type. I get this a lot. I'm like, who's your player comp? I'm like, I don't know who my player comp is. I don't know. But I love watching KD too. KD's a really, really elite guy. So
I'd say, okay, one of my questions would be, for somebody that hasn't been in Nashville, if we're going to Nashville, what food spot you telling us to go to? Like, what's the best spots in town?
You got to go to I'd say like Mafiosa's for sure. I don't know if Maggiano's is a chain. I feel like it is a chain.
That is.
Maybe not, but I love Maggiano's. I don't know. I'm not like a Nashville exclusive guy. Yeah, my go-to is Chipotle. I tell you, let's just go to Chipotle and kick it.
All right. My next question, kind of like if there's any young guys watching the show on the way up, any advice you might have for them to maybe expand their game and help them get to the college level? Just like any piece of advice you would have.
Just always believe in yourself, man. If you really think you can do something, put your all into it, work at it. my dad always told me, it's like, if you want to do something, you got to work for it. And he was just always on top of me, always asking me when I was a kid, what did I want to do? I'm like, this basketball thing's fun. Why not take it as long as I can? So always just having that belief in yourself. Like, I didn't really start working out till about seventh grade-ish. My guy Sean, shout out to Sean, been training me since seventh grade. I started working out, and I said, I want to go to the NBA. I want to play basketball for a while. He was just like, you can't do it with the work ethic that you have right now. Like, you just don't have, like, you don't have that edge. So I feel like he installed that work ethic in me and just showed me the way, and was just like, man, if you really want to do this, you can, but it's gonna take some work. So as long as you have a little bit of work ethic and faith in God, God's gonna direct you the way. Whatever you want to do, you just always have to have your faith in Him and believe in Him, and then just believe in yourself. It's the most important thing, is having confidence in yourself and knowing that you can do it. Every time you step on that court, you don't get scared because everybody else is human, just like you. Just go out there and play your game and just be yourself and believe.
My next question, still tying to Nashville. You're obviously in the music city. Country music is super big. Do you listen to country music? Because I did want to know that. Like, obviously being surrounded by it all the time. Like, what are your thoughts on that?
Country music is terrible. Like, I can't say it's all right. It's really bad, but there's about 10 exceptions, 10 songs I probably listen to this country and I like. But other than that, like, the only reason why I listen to those is because on Fridays when we're in the weight room, we gotta listen to country music. And then my girlfriend listens to country music quite often. So that's the only reason. But other than that, country is awful. Don't play no country around me. I listen to all other genres. Maybe not rock, but all other genres. But no country. Please, no country.
What's your go-to artist to listen to?
For country?
No, just in general.
Oh, Jersey Drake for sure.
Drake.
But young boy, right? Like, young boy below him, but Drake the GOAT, man.
My last question for you, Malik. I guess just kind of talk about, if somebody was to tune into the Missouri State game tomorrow, talk about what they should expect to see from you as a player, and why players, or why NBA teams and professional teams in general should pay attention to your game.
Tomorrow, if you tune into Missouri State, you just see the Belmont Bruins winning the game. I think with me, I think once again, matchup problem. I don't think there's anybody who can, stay in front of me off the drive, or just contain me offensively, and then defensively, just getting stops on big guys, and once again switching out on guards. I think tomorrow is going to be a big game, just to show that, if I do have to guard, the guy's name is Clay. So I'm going to be guarding Clay. He likes to do a little bit of both. He kind of likes to play inside, outside, a little mid-range game. The goal for me is, if I'm on them, switching and guarding off of him, and, taking shots away, just showing that I can be a really big defender. But offensively, don't got to worry about that. I think I'll be okay. God bless. Not worried about it.
And then I got two more questions before we wrap it up. First, I see this Prime flag behind you. What's going on here? Is that your favorite drink? Is this a deal going on? What's that about?
If Prime's watching this, please sponsor me. Please do. Sponsor me. But my girlfriend is a Prime ambassador, so she gets a lot of Prime stuff, and she's like, Malik, do you want a Prime flag? And I'm like, sure, why not? I mean, I don't have that many flags. I mean, I have this right here. It's a tweet I pinned back when COVID was up, so I keep that up as motivation. And then there's this.
And then my last question is, just outside of basketball, who's Malik Dia? Like, what are some of your hobbies, besides basketball?
Hobbies. I like to play tennis. Not good. I just started playing my senior year. I really like tennis. And, I honestly think if I didn't play basketball, I'd probably try and be a tennis player. And I think outside, I'm just a fun guy. I like hanging out with my teammates, hanging out with friends. I'm a very big personality guy. Like you're definitely gonna hear me if I'm close with you. If you're like fam and we tight, I'm always gonna be with you. Them are my peoples, and I just like having fun wherever I do.
Gotcha. And it looks like we got a question real quick too before you go. Says, how can I elevate my game in basketball? I'm in high school. I know you mentioned hard work, but what will create that separation from me to any other player, and what steps should I be taking now?
I think with me, it was just getting in the gym every single day. Like people told me, like you got to take an off day and such. But I felt like off days are just like so slum. Like one, I just love basketball. Like I feel like I had to touch a basketball every day, and I still do. But just like in the mornings, like in high school, I went to Ensworth. Ensworth's about an hour away from my house, so the bus came and got us like 5:45 in the morning. Get dropped off around like 7:15. This class doesn't start till like 8:30. So I'm in the gym like at like 7:15 in the morning, getting shots up, working on myself, seeing how can I be better, what do I need to work on. And then, you go to school, and then after school, you got practice, and then you work on your game during practice. You do what you need to do for your team. Stay after, shoot some shots. And then, which I think kind of now this is kind of extreme because sometimes your body does need rest. But after when practice is over, the bus would take us home. And then I go straight and work out with my trainer, Sean, every single night. And, get like, if it was like, get the day before a game, we're getting some like pre-game work, like shots, and just figuring out where shots are going to come from and all this stuff. So I think just having that work ethic, just always getting in the gym and working on different types of stuff that you think that you need to add to your game or what you think your coach needs to add to your game. Sometimes it's not really basketball related. Sometimes you need to work on staying in shape or getting stronger, which when I came to Ensworth, that was a big emphasis. So I never really started lifting weights until I got to Ensworth. So they emphasized, getting stronger and then working on, the basketball thing was going to come. They knew I slept in the gym. So that's just a little piece of advice. I'd say just really just stay in the gym and just have that faith. And it's also helpful to have like, somebody with you, like always have a guy with you in the gym, always have a partner with you just to push you, whether that's a trainer, a friend, teammate, somebody just to help you, just guide you. Because you're always, you think you know everything, but you don't really know everything. There's always something out there that somebody knows more.
All right. Well, I think that kind of does it for us. Malik, thank you so much for joining. I know that however many listeners there are, I hope that people definitely took away from your story. I know I didn't know a lot of the stuff that you said about how you eventually got to Team Thad. And I think even that last part that you just talked about, the fact that drive, not all players have it. So I hope that this helps you. And I know it's certainly going to help us. We appreciate you being the first player to join this podcast. We hope to be many. But, yeah, thank you so much. I know we'll be tuned in tomorrow, hopefully getting a post up for you after a win and then some more posts at the end of the season. But we really appreciate you, bro.
For sure, yeah.
Yeah, no problem. I'm going to join back in like a year, and we're going to catch up.
Oh, for sure. Yes, for sure.
Yeah. All right. Appreciate you, man.
Thanks, Malik.
Yeah, take care, Malik. All right.
Man, I know that whoever's watching that last piece from the question, he dropped some – that's a really special story about how he's any free time he had, he was going to the gym. And, I mean, I'm sure there's a lot of people out there that are going to say, you need your off time, you need your rest. But it just shows that the hours that he put in then definitely helped him get on NBA radars today, averaging 18 a game at Belmont. I feel like I just learned so much about just like the other side of him that we wouldn't see just putting on his game on ESPN. So
for sure. No, it was definitely great having him on. Yeah, just like he said, just hearing that last thing that he said, just being able, having to travel an hour to school and, putting up shots, having a school day, having practice, come back home and still doing the same stuff. So definitely great to hear. We're just kind of moving on from that. I'm just thankful for everybody that joined and happy that we got this thing started because, it's going to be the first of many more to go. So I'm excited for what's to come with this podcast.
Yeah. And if anybody has any suggestions or players that they would like to join the show, we'll do our best effort to get them on. And I think this is going to be the first of many episodes. We appreciate y'all tuning in. And that's episode 1 of Get the Greenlight. So thanks, Carlos. I think we have a lot to build on, but super excited about it.
For sure. Yep. Thank you, guys.
Yes, sir.